сказать, что сегодняшнее видео будет немножко отличаться от моих типичных недельных видео, потому что сегодня не будет влоговой части. Я думаю, что это, конечно, некоторых из вас немного огорчило, но то, что хорошо, что вместо этого я взял интервью у своего друга, у своего канадского друга. И он поотвечал на вопросы, которые вы мне часто оставляете в комментариях. И если вы хотите получать уведомления, когда я ставлю новые видео, то нажмите или же дерните за колокольчик, который находится около кнопки «Подписаться на канал». Всем приятного просмотра!
Hi everyone, my name is Zaid and I'm 18 years old and I'm attending the University of Victoria and I'm heading into my second year into economics.
First question is, what country did your family live in before you guys moved to Canada?
Yeah, so before we moved to Canada, we lived in the United Arab Emirates, which is most popular for like Dubai and the world's tallest tower. We moved over here because it was like the temperature is better, the people are nicer, like the living environment is better, and it was like a good decision after all.
Did your family know English before you guys moved here? And if not, then how did you learn it here?
My family, we all knew English, like it was taught in school, and my dad actually attended school in London for high school and university, so we all knew English before we came here, and it wasn't like a lot of trouble to understand and like to get into the mood.
Yeah, was it like good or like decent, like for you? How old were you when you moved?
When I moved here, I was 10 years old, yeah, and now I'm 18.
But
yeah.
Did you have any like struggles when you got here, like understanding students and teachers and stuff?
No, even like if they were going fast and everything, I understood it perfectly.
Did you have any like difficulties moving here, like in terms of like just adapting to the new culture? Like what was the hardest part after you arrived to Canada?
My parents used to work at like really high positions in corporate. They were both like engineers, and when we came here, they couldn't find any jobs at all. They had to work at like Safeway and stuff like that. Most important part in coming to Canada, you need experience to work here.
Yeah. Because I was just talking about it in the previous video, that you need like Canadian experience to get a good job.
Yeah.
And your first job is probably going to be pretty bad.
Yeah, exactly.
So,
exactly.
That's a really good point.
You either need experience or you need to graduate from Canada.
And like how long did they work at like a bad job before they got something bad?
I remember my mom working, I think it was 1 to 2 years working at Safeway in a grocery store. Yeah. She moved like slowly up, like an entry-level job to landscaping, and now she's like an architect, and like after 8 years, all good now. Yeah.
Do you miss your home country?
I'd say not.
Because you moved here.
Yeah, I've moved here. Yeah. And now looking back in my home country, I wouldn't want to move there again.
Do you have any like relatives back home?
No, actually all my relatives are either in Canada or either in America.
I know this might be like a bit hard to remember, but like, what was your first day in Canadian school like? Do you remember like
the first... I remember it exactly. I remember. I'll never forget. So in my first day in Canada school, I was in grade 6, and I went to the first day of class, and it was really difficult for me because I had to speak English like throughout the day, like for 8 hours, and that was like really hard. Like I've never done that before because I only spoke like my language, which is Arabic. And I remember going there, like I didn't know anyone. I didn't know like the names, like the Canadian names or anything. But it wasn't like hard at all because like I just like made friends the first day. They like all accepted me. They didn't care about like where I came from or anything. Like no one really cared like if I was like from United Arab Emirates or like wherever, right? They just wanted to have friends. I think I went to ESL, which is like a class for like second English as a second language. It teaches you the basics of like English and stuff, so you know like so you have like a starting point.
Yeah.
And then that was helpful, but then I stopped like later on because like I basically knew English, right? So yeah.
When did you stop? Like how long have you been going there for?
I think I went there the first year because it was mandatory.
What about like the teachers?
The teachers.
How did they help you? When you got here?
They helped me like for some examples, like I didn't know like what some words meant because like it's just like Canadian words or like Canadian words written differently than American, right?
Mm-hmm.
So like
Kind of like slang, right?
Yeah, slang. So they just explained it basically, and it was like pretty simple. Like they weren't mean about it or anything. Yeah.
Was there like a special teacher for students like you? Well, not like special students, but like new students that just got here. You know, like a teacher assistant, for example.
No. Oh,
class.
I remember that. Like I didn't have it as an experience, but I remember like some of my friends, they came from like China, or they came in from like Italy or something like that, right? Like they didn't know English that much, so they had like a teacher assistant which like followed them, helped them do their homework, helped them like make friends and stuff. I think it was pretty like beneficial to them, yeah.
And like the fact that you said that your friends like came from Italy and like China and stuff,
Yeah.
shows that like Canadian, just like Canada as a country, there's so many different like cultures and different people here,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, you'll
like,
definitely meet a lot of people
like
from all
out of
around
like
the world.
your friends that you know, like how many of them, I guess, came from a different country? Or like let's say a class of students, 30 kids, how many of them would be immigrants or be children of immigrants?
Yeah, definitely. Like, yeah, most of the people here are like Canadian, but they're not really Canadian.
Like true Canadian, right?
Yeah, like no one's here is like, they come from all around the world, like Filipinos,
Yeah.
Chinese people, like Ukrainians, right?
Exactly.
And Arabic, yeah, they all come in. So I'd say like probably like it's like over 50% for sure.
What was the most like unexpected thing that you saw when you moved to Canada? If you compare your country and Canada, did you notice anything like
Yeah, I
different?
noticed a couple stuff. Classes back then were only separated by gender. So if you were like a female or a male, you'd only go to your specific gender.
Really?
Yeah.
Back in your country?
Yeah. So for example, like I'm a guy, right? I only went to class with other guys. Like there was like no girls at all.
Really?
Yeah. It's different here. Like over here, it's like so mixed in with like guys, girls, like whoever. It doesn't really matter, right?
Like other kids, like special needs and all
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
So
It's all mixed in together, which I think is pretty nice.
Yeah.
You
kind of
make
open.
you make friends easier, I think. Yeah. And also like another example I can think of is coming here. Like the use of technology is way more. Maybe like it's because like it evolved better, right? Like more technology. But from where I'm from, like we didn't use computers to do homework or phones or laptops. I remember in schools here when I came to middle school, they had iPads. Which they gave out to everyone like to do some homework.
Yeah.
Or if you didn't have like a computer at home, they'd give you like a laptop, which like is really helpful. Like especially like if you're a low income, they can definitely help you out with like technology, money, food, and then if you're like low income as well, they can give you like free lunches at school as well, right?
Yeah, that's a really good point, right? And all those like different programs for like kids in need, right?
Yeah.
If you're like low income or you need like some tools for school
Yeah.
and they will honestly help you.
Yeah, even if you're not low income, like they won't ask you like if you just can't afford it. Right?
Yeah.
They'd be more than happy to give you laptops and stuff like that.
What advice would you give to people who are moving here from any other country?
Probably like move into a place with a similar temperature, I'd say, which is like pretty silly, but I think the transitioning coming from here from like United Arab Emirates, which is a really hot country, right?
Yeah.
Living in Canada, which is like known as a cold country, right? Like it's in the north, but coming to Victoria, it's a similar temperature to like United Arab Emirates, and it's really good. Also, like another tip, like coming and working here, like no one really cares if you work a low level job, right?
I noticed that there's not much like judgment going on as there is like in Ukraine and Russia. I feel like,
Yeah,
like, people
everyone-
don't judge
yeah.
each other. They have their own lives and
Yeah,
they don't really care.
yeah. Everyone minds their own business.
Maybe in the next like 5-10 years, do you have plans to move somewhere else?
I'm probably gonna graduate from the University of Victoria, right? I'm thinking of staying here in Victoria, but we'll see. Victoria is a really small town, which I don't think like I'll have a lot of opportunities here
For
like,
jobs and
Yeah, for like an entry level job, like after university. So I'm thinking of maybe like moving into a bigger city, like Toronto or like Vancouver, for example, and like starting my own like life there. I'll definitely like remember Victoria for sure. My goal is definitely to like have a family here.
In your opinion, how important is it to know English before you move to Canada?
I think you need to have a little understanding, just a bit, just as like
The basic stuff.
just the basics, exactly. Like if you come here and you don't know any English, it'll be really hard to find directions like anywhere.
Like talking to
yeah,
people.
like talking to people, because like mostly here, people, they mainly speak English and French, but like it's mostly English for sure.
Yeah.
So I'd say English is like really heavy, but you don't need to know everything, because people here are like they're ready to help you. A lot of people here come from like China, and not a lot of them know a lot of English, so they all usually go to the ESL class and they learn it. They're like beginning from the bottom, like not knowing the basics at all. I remember when I graduated from like middle school, right?
Yeah.
The people who I went with first, say, in the ESL class, they knew English really well by the end.
What do you think, and like people around you, like Canadians, think about Russians and Ukrainians?
Personally, for me, like, I don't mind them, as you can see, but I'm pretty sure Canadians don't really care where you come from at all.
Is there any like sort of stereotype about Russians and Ukrainians?
Vodka and the dashcam videos, maybe?
Would you say that your Arabic is worse than English?
Yeah.
For sure. Was it like that when you moved here?
No, it's the exact opposite, but now it changed, yeah. To be honest, I forgot some Arabic. I forgot reading. I forgot writing.
Pretty typical, because I can say the same thing about myself. I mean, I can write and read, but it's like a lot better in English.
Yeah.
What were your grades like when you moved to Canada?
In the beginning, it was pretty simple, I'd say. I passed all of it, even though I knew not the best English, but I knew some English, right? I passed all of it. There were some classes you need to take here. Coming to middle school, high school, I needed to take some French, which I didn't know any of it.
Yeah.
But some people knew French because they took it in kindergarten, primary school, right? So that was probably the hardest class I took. People don't judge you based on your like grades at all, especially like if you're like a new person coming to Canada. You just try your best, and then people help you out if you're not doing good, and they'll help you out if you're doing good, right? I remember coming from Dubai, I had 97%. The first year I came here, I remember I had a 60 to 70.
So that's what I had. Like a C plus or something, or C.
Yeah, and it didn't hurt me at all. Like, I'm going to university.
All right. Thank you so much, Zaid, for being part of this video. Thank you for agreeing to this. I hope that you enjoyed this and it was helpful to you in any way, shape or form. И, пожалуй, на этом я закончу данное видео. Я надеюсь, что оно вам понравилось и вы для себя узнали что-то новое и полезное. Если это так, не забудьте поставить этому видео палец вверх, подписаться на мой канал, оставить любой комментарий и, может быть, поделиться данным видео. Потому что, если оно понравилось вам, я уверен, что понравится многим другим. И еще, если вы хотите получать уведомления, когда я ставлю новые видео, нажмите на колокольчик, который находится около кнопки «Подписаться на канал». Еще раз, всем спасибо, всем пока!